We're really glad to have you here. My name is Krista Leinbach. I'm the Director of Penn Traditions Student and Young Alumni Programming, and thanks so much for your interest in Penn Traditions. We want this time to be an opportunity to learn more about Penn Traditions, about our three amazing committees, and then also about Penn alumni generally as well. Penn Traditions is a student organization that's housed under Alumni Relations. And before we kind of dig into what all that means, just wanted to share a little bit about the flow for today. We're all going to be in a general meeting, this group together, and then we'll have 3 separate Zoom rooms for our 3 committees. So you'll have a chance to click into those different links, get to know our co-chairs, ask any questions that you might have about their role, their work, and really get to know them. We want this to be as interactive as possible and really to answer any questions that you might have about Penn Traditions. So excited to have you all here and really kind of looking forward to answering questions and sharing more about who we are and getting you all involved. And you have the opportunity to really kind of bounce through all 3 of those committees as well. So about Penn Traditions, Penn Traditions really is about your lifelong connection with Penn. Our mission is to celebrate Penn's history and traditions, connect students and alumni, and promote and inspire a lifelong Penn pride. Penn Traditions really is special because the relationship with Penn starts from day one. We're part of a big NSO event and really kind of gathered that energy and looking forward to bring that no matter what year you are at the university. And we do that with a lifelong connection through our class ambassadors committee, our campus community, and the Penn Traditions Alumni Engagement Fund. We know that this semester is unlike any other. So we're kind of navigating that with you, and we are definitely committed to bringing people together and providing opportunities for connection virtually during the fall, and then in person, hopefully, if we're able to in the spring. So we'll share a little bit more about how we're changing what we're doing through the fall semester and making sure that we're able to provide that opportunity for connection. Before we jump into talking about Penn Traditions and our 3 amazing committees, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about Penn Traditions as a whole. Penn alumni as a whole, excuse me. Who are Penn alumni? So some stats here. So we have 290,000 living alumni. Right now, 63% are male identified, 37% female identified, 52% of the alumni are undergraduate alumni. 62% of alumni reside in 10 of our US cities, with 7% outside of the US, and 51% have graduated in the last 20 years. And over the next 10 years, we'll see a huge demographic change, growth in our first generation and or diverse alumni, and a stronger balance in gender identity. So kind of thinking about you all, and as you're navigating your transition from our undergraduate population into the alumni community, it's definitely going to look very different. And I think that's Penn Traditions is a big piece of kind of sharing those traditions and being a part of that. And we do that through the mission of Penn Alumni. So Penn Alumni seeks to engage all alumni in a mutually beneficial, lifelong connection to each other, to their school, and to the university, and to encourage alumni support and guidance to advance Penn's eminence for future generations. So Penn Traditions is a huge part of that. We are part of what you're doing right from day one, and then creating that lifelong connection to the university. So we work through and work on that mission through a variety of different teams and staff. We are housed in Sweeten Alumni House when we are on campus. So hopefully at some point soon, we'll invite you into that beautiful space. But just wanted to share some of our teams and staff that are part of alumni relations generally. So some might look familiar to you. Potentially you were interviewed by a member of the Penn Alumni Interview Program. Maybe are aware of the Penn Alumni Regional Club where you grew up. Our Classes and Reunions team is a part of Homecoming and Alumni Weekend, which class ambassadors will share more about. And then different programming like Why Penn, our Young Penn alumni, and then last but not least, our Penn Traditions program. So Penn Traditions is a huge part of what we do in alumni relations, and we partner with colleagues from the Penn Fund and the Vice Provost for University Life. So we'll have a couple of our colleagues share more about who they are and their connection to Penn Traditions in just a moment. Before we do that, I just wanted to introduce briefly Elise Betts, who's our Executive Director of Penn Alumni and an amazing champion of Penn Traditions and the creator of the program. So just wanted to turn it over to Elise for just a moment.
Hey, Krista, thank you. So good to be here with all of you. I wish we were in person, but I promise you, one day you will sign a banner that looks like this. And if you're in the class of 2024, it'll say Penn Tradition Class of 2024, 23, 22. This one is the senior class banner. We have some seniors on the call with us. And this is one of the traditions of the Penn Traditions program. So I did start the program in 2003. So you all were, little tiny children. And I started the program because I saw that our Penn students absolutely loved their experience. It was their first choice of schools. People are traveling from countries and cities all over the world and coming to the university and having an amazing experience. But guess what? Then we lost them. So they had this great time at Penn. They're like, commencement, it's over, I'm done, I'm out. And literally, they lost their connection to the university. And I saw this happening and I thought, there's something going on here. Like, we're not doing a good job of creating this sense of lifelong relationship, like Krista said, because I also knew that there were people coming back for the 75th reunion. So wrap your head around that. So we have, 17 and 18-year-olds on campus, and we have people who are almost 100 years old coming back to campus in May to celebrate their 75th, and in some cases, their 80th reunion. So we needed to kind of do this little kind of bridge program so we could ensure that our students stayed connected as alumni and built this sense of community. So the name of the program when I started it is called Penn Traditions, Building Our Community, and it was very intentional. And the idea was, let's get excited about the history of Penn, the traditions, let's create new traditions, which this group will be a part of, and just stay connected to this amazing place for life, because every year Penn, though it's not perfect, looks at the things we're challenged with, and we take steps to make them better so that your experiences as students is just extraordinary. So I'm really happy to have you here, really thrilled that you're going to be involved in Penn Traditions. Can't wait to meet you on campus, and I trust that you will fall in love with our staff and our student leaders. They're just extraordinary people, and you will become a part of that group and have this sense of community. And I acknowledge we can't be together, and it's a tough year, but we will be together. So hang in there with us, and we're all going to have a huge celebration. So thank you.
Thanks, Elise. Definitely excited for the opportunity when we are able to be in person, but knowing that we will have plenty of things to be active and doing throughout the fall semester. So I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Jessica Enright, who's a coordinator for classes and reunions, Penn Traditions, and Why Penn programming. She's an advisor to class ambassadors who will share more about the class ambassadors team.
Hey everyone, like Krista said, I work in alumni relations with the classes and reunions team, as well as supporting the young alumni and student activities, and I also co-advise the class ambassadors. Their mission is to work with classes who are celebrating reunions to plan memorable and personalized weekends on Penn's campus. That said, each class ambassador partners with a reunion class to support. They recruit and lead student volunteers, and they promote class spirit. Class ambassadors also support Penn's homecoming events, and they are a really big part of the collaborative Penn Traditions community. I'm going to keep it nice, short, and sweet, and I'm going to turn it over to Andrea Aldahari Patton. She is the Associate Development and Alumni Relations, Associate Director of Development and Alumni Relations on the Division of Vice Provost for University Life. And she is also the advisor to the Penn Traditions Alumni Engagement Fund, or as we call it for short, PTAEF. Andrea,
I was muted.
you were muted.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea, like Jess introduced. I'm so excited to be here. And so where I work is a mouthful. University life, you will probably see the acronym VPUL in a lot of emails that you've had come through. And basically it's everything outside the classroom that adds that extra to your experience. So if you went to you went to the virtual club fair, which I'm hoping is how you heard about us, or you look to get involved with student performing arts, or you use the Weingarten Center for learning resources and other services. I'm involved with all of those things. But one of my favorite parts of my job is getting to advise the Alumni Engagement Fund, which we call PTAEF for short, Penn Traditions Alumni Engagement Fund. And so PTAEF is essentially a funding board, and it provides funding to student organizations who are wanting to engage their alumni. There are over 800 registered clubs and student organizations in Penn, and even more that aren't formally registered. They're just interest groups. And many of those have been around for years and years. Some have even been around for 150 years, which is crazy. And so naturally, they have a big alumni base. So members of our board of PTAEF, they review and accept applications and decide how to allocate money so that student groups can successfully hold different types of engagement and programming to interact between students and alumni. And so it's really cool because you get to essentially say you're part of a funding board that has an annual budget of $10,000. And so the mission of PTAEF is really just to support students in their work to engage with alumni. And there's a couple of examples of programs that we've had and some photos. And so what will be really exciting and interesting to see here is helping student groups think about in a virtual setting or in a place where you might just be in city, there's clusters of group members in different cities where clusters of alumni are located. How can you continue to have alumni engagement programming in this semi-virtual hybrid year that we're having? So that will be really fun and really interesting to do.
Thanks, Andrea. And I'm going to share about our last committee, campus community. So this group is all about building community. That's a theme you'll see throughout Penn Traditions, but this committee does that through university-wide events. So we're actually rebooting this group. So it'll be an opportunity to really kind of put your mark on things, support us as we help kind of plan and execute some of the long-standing traditions, but then also kind of think about what are new traditions that we would want to kind of have for all of our students, especially given this virtual space during the fall semester. So you'll see pictured here the class of 2023 tree planting. That's something that we do every year at homecoming. We're thinking about what that will look like for 2024, and we'll definitely make sure that we do that in person when we're able to, and also being a part of our virtual homecoming festivities, collaborating with the class board, and really kind of thinking about what are new traditions that are coming out of this unique time that we're a part of. So this is something that's brand new. We do not have co-chairs for the campus community group. So working directly with me in that and helping shape what exactly that will look like coming through in this time. I'm going to toss it over to Sarah Fears, who is the Assistant Director of Student Philanthropy of the Penn Fund. Sarah?
Hi guys, I'm Sarah Fears, and as Krista said, I am the Assistant Director of Student Philanthropy at the Penn Fund. And you might be like, what is the Penn Fund? That's a great question. I'm here to tell you. So the Penn Fund is our annual giving department, right, for fundraising money for all of you. So when you make a donation to the Penn Fund, right, you are making donations to all undergraduate success. So that looks like student financial aid, academic support on campus, and really making sure all of your co-curriculars are thriving and surviving and having the best time of their lives, right? That's what the Penn Fund does. We help bring dollars to you for successful undergraduate experiences. And I come in with that, where if you're not quite a senior yet, you can participate with me in Penn It Forward, which is our annual Student Philanthropy Week, where you can join us in thanking our graduates and our alumni who give back. You can learn more about what does it mean to be an active, a young alumni donor for us, and just kind of learn more about how our school is really supported through really philanthropic alumni. And if you're really invested and you're like, hey, I really like learning about this, I love to pen it forward, I'm having a great time, you can join our Seniors for the Penn Fund Committee when you're a senior. And our goal for the Seniors for the Penn Fund Committee is that we try to solicit 1,740 donors from the senior class. And you're like, that's a really obscure number. Well, that's the year that Penn was founded, and we're really proud of that number. And I can tell you for the last 9 years, we hit that number, and I'm really confident that we're going to continue that as we keep growing. So Seniors for the Penn Fund, we really hope to instill philanthropy as a senior right before you graduate. And we host really great events like Oktoberfest. You'll see us on the quad, and you'll see us like handing out really great koozies. You'll see us at First Toast, which is our annual kickoff to Feb Club, and you'll see really great performers at Xfinity Live. And so there's many opportunities for you to do large scale event planning and get really cool swag, but also learn that's really important to give back holistically. So yeah.
Thanks, Sarah. And the Penn Fund and Seniors for the Penn Fund and Penn It Forward are great partners with us in Penn Traditions, as we see philanthropy as a tradition of the institution. So all of our Penn Fund Penn Tradition folks are engaged in Penn It Forward with the idea that philanthropy is part of the tradition to the institution. So we're working hand in hand in the engagement and philanthropy aspects that we're all involved in. So great to hear all the good things coming out of the Penn Fund. And now this is the best part. Want to turn it over to our student leaders and have them introduce themselves, share a little bit about who they are and why they've been involved. So to kick it off, I'm going to turn it over to Sydney Bell, who will share about who she is and her connection to Penn Traditions. Sydney?
Yay! Hi guys, like Krista said, I'm Sydney. I'm a senior. I'm from Wisconsin, currently in Wharton studying management, but also minoring in urban education. As you can see in the chat, I said it's one of my favorite classes right now, one of my education classes that I'm in. My role with Penn Traditions is that I'm a representative to the Penn Alumni Board, and probably picking one highlight is so hard, honestly. Like the amount of brunches and happy hours and dinners and just fun events that we get to go to where you genuinely get to connect with someone like one-on-one. Those are probably my favorite experiences, just because I feel like with classes or with like other large general body club meetings, you don't always get to like talk to someone one-on-one and really like kind of hear their life story, whether it's another student or even kind of with some of the alumni that we get to connect with. It's so cool just seeing like their journeys in life and like having some of those more genuine, real conversations. So that's probably one of my favorite takeaways from Penn Traditions, and I will now pass it off to Paige.
All right. Hi, everyone. I am Paige. I am a senior in the college studying cognitive science. I am from South Central Pennsylvania, which is also where I currently am. I am one of the co-chairs of PTAEF. And I guess for like a highlight from my Penn Traditions experience, I would say going to the Alumni Merit Gala, because while I was there, I ran into the person who did my interview through the Alumni Interview Program. So we got to reconnect and like talk through the entire event, and that was really nice to catch up with him. I guess I'll turn this over to Shivan then.
Hey everyone, I'm Shivan. I'm a junior and I'm in Wharton in engineering, studying computer science and business analytics. I am one of the co-chairs along with Paige for PTAEF, and I'm really excited that you guys are here. My favorite memory is similar to Paige's. It was this event, the Power of Penn event that they had downtown my freshman year, and it was so much fun because we really got to connect with and engage with so many alumni all under like one roof for like a fixed amount of time. It was so much fun, and I think that's a priceless opportunity that you can get while you're still at Penn, and you sort of feel like you're a part of the community at large. So I'm excited for all of you, and I hope you join us. And I'm going to pass on to Sarthak. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks. Hi everyone, my name is Sarthak and I'm a junior studying computer science and economics in the School of Engineering. I am currently in Jaipur, which is also my hometown, and I am the co-chair for Class Ambassadors team. Um, my favorite highlight, I see this common thread going with the community aspect, with being able to talk to alumni, and I think that is so true. Like, I think for me, the biggest part is being able to listen to these diverse stories from these like really accomplished people. I think that's definitely my highlight too. And I'm really, really excited to get to know you guys better and see you guys in committee if you choose to join. I'm going to pass this on to Harry now.
And I take the last but not least. I am one of the other seniors who is Sarthak's co-chair in Class Ambassadors. I'm currently located in Philly because I had an in-person class, and I'm from Miami, Florida. I study biochemistry, health and societies, and ancient history. And one of my favorite moments would be one of the more personal connections, because there was an incident where an alumni came with their whole family at the wrong week for alumni weekend, and giving them a tour and hearing all their thoughts about Penn while there were still students around, while they were connecting with the place, was really fun for me because I got to see their perspective on the new buildings, the old buildings, and so on. And also I find it a funny moment because it was just a bunch of miscommunication that resulted in me having a bit of fun. And I'll pass it back to our wonderful advisors for the next bit.
Thanks, y'all. I think as you can tell, there's so much fun. I think people, opportunity to connect with folks, get to know people. I think that's really the theme of who we are and what we do, is the community and the connection. So definitely appreciate all of our student leaders. It's been fun to work with them and kind of think about how we can all build that community virtually, and we're thrilled that you all are considering being a part of that. And really kind of this next time together is for you to answer questions, ask questions, get questions answered, learn more about the committees, and really think about what is your fit in terms of Penn Traditions, because there's definitely, with the 3 committees, opportunity for you to get engaged in what makes sense for you and what you would like to do. So you'll see in the chat here, there are links to 3 different Zoom meetings, so separate from this meeting. So we encourage you to visit all 3, and you'll be able to connect one-on-one with the co-chairs and really have an opportunity to answer any questions that you might have. And we encourage you to bounce back and forth between all 3. So it really just kind of visit all 3, ask as many questions you have. You can tell everybody here is very personable and really happy to answer any questions that you might have. And then the final link that's in there is our interest form. So if you are interested in getting involved, encourage you to fill that out, and that way our co-chairs will see that, see what you would like to do, what you're interested in, and then you can kind of express where you see your fit is in Penn Traditions, and then we'll circle back about how we can connect with you. So before we break out into the rooms, wanted to just see if there's any questions that people might have about next steps. But if there aren't, let us know in the chat. But if there aren't, then we'll see you all in the breakout rooms. Okay, cool. It looks like we're good. So if you want to head to all the Zooms, we're excited to chat with y'all very shortly.